Hello, Shalom. Welcome to day 72 of the Daily Bread. We'll be in Exodus 33, 2 Samuel 2, chapter 2. We'll be reading from Psalm 76, Proverbs 10, and from the book of Luke 17. We'll be in the Scriptures 2009 version. Exodus 33 on page 93. And Yahweh said to Moshe, go up from here, you and the people whom you have brought out of the land of Mizraim, to the land to which I swore to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, saying, to your seed I give it. I shall send my messenger, capital M in both messenger and my, which signifies Yeshua, before you. I shall drive out the Canaanite, and the Amorite, and the Hittite, and the Perizzite, and the Hittite, and the Jebusite, to a land flowing with milk and honey. For I do not go up in your midst, because you are a stiff-necked people, lest I consume you on the way. And when the people heard this evil word, they mourned, and no one put on his ornaments. And Yahweh said to Moshe, say to the children of Israel, you are a stiff-necked people. Should I go up in your midst for one moment? I shall consume you. And now take off your ornaments, and I shall know what to do to you. So the children of Israel took off the ornaments at Mount Horeb, and Moshe took his tent and pitched it outside the camp, far from the camp, and called it the tent of appointment. And it came to be that everyone who sought Yahweh went out to the tent of appointment, which was outside the camp. And it came to be, whenever Moshe went out to the tent, that all the people rose, and each man stood at his tent door and watched Moshe until he entered the tent. And it came to be, when Moshe entered the tent, that the column of cloud descended and stood at the door of the tent, and he spoke to Moshe. And all the people saw the column of the cloud calling at the tent door. And all the people rose and bowed themselves, each one at the door of his tent. Thus Yahweh spoke to Moshe face to face, as a man speaks to his friend. And he will return to the camp, but his servant Joshua, son of Nun, a young man, did not leave the tent. And Moshe said to Yahweh, see, you are saying to me, bring up this people, but you have not made known to me whom you would send with me. Though you have said, I know you by name, and you have also found favor in my eyes. And now, please, if I have found favor in your eyes, please show me your way, and let me know you, so that I find favor in your eyes, and consider that this nation is your people. And he, Yahweh, said, my presence does go, and I shall give you the rest. And he said to him, if your presence is not going, do not lead us from here. For how then shall it be known that I have found favor in your eyes, I and your people, except you go with us? Then we shall be distinguished, I and your people, from all the people who are upon the face of the earth. And Yahweh said to Moshe, even this word you have spoken, I shall do, for you have found favor in my eyes, and I know you by name. Then he said, please show me your esteem. And he said, I shall cause all my goodness to pass before you, and I shall proclaim the name of Yahweh before you, and I shall favor him whom I favor, and I shall have compassion on him whom I have compassion. But he said, you are unable to, it is Yahweh speaking, you are unable to see my face, for no man does see my face and live. And Yahweh said, see, there is a place with me, and you shall stand on the rock, and it shall be, while my esteem pass by, that I shall put you in the cleft of the rock, and cover you with my hand while I pass by. That I shall take away my hand, and you shall see my back, but my face shall not be seen at all. On the 2nd Samuel, chapter 2. And it came to be afterwards that David inquired of Yahweh, saying, do I go up to any of the cities of Judah? And Yahweh said to him, go up. And David said, where should I go? And he said, to Hebron. And David went up there, as well as his 2 wives, Amino the Israelite, and Abigail, the widow of Nabal the Carmelite. And David brought up the men who were with him, each man with his household. And they dwelt in the cities of Hebron. And the men of Judah came and anointed David sovereign over the house of Judah there. They also reported to David, saying, the men of Yabesh Gilead are they who should bury the men of Yabesh Gilead are they who buried Saul? David sent messengers to the men of Yabesh Gilead and said to them, you are blessed of Yahweh, for you have shown this loving commitment to your master, to Saul, that you buried him. And now Yahweh, showing loving commitment and truth to you, I am also going to do good, because you have done this deed. And now let your hands be strengthened and be brave, for your master Saul is dead, and also the house of Judah has anointed me sovereign over them. But Abner, son of Ner, commander of the army of Saul, took Isabeth, the son of Saul, and brought him over to Mahanaim, and set him up to reign over Gilead, and over Asherite, and over Israel, and over Ephraim, and over Benjamin, and over all Israel. Ishbosheth, son of Saul, was 40 years old when he began to reign over Israel, and he reigned 2 years. Only the house of Judah followed David. And the time that David was sovereign in Hebron over the house of Judah was 7 years and 6 moons. And Abner, son of Ner, and the servants of Ishbosheth, son of Saul, went out from Mahanaim to Gibeon, And Joab, son of Sharin, and the servants of David went out and met with them by the pool of Gibeon. And they sat down, one on one side of the pool and the other on the other side of the pool. And Abner said to Joab, "Let the young men now rise and compete before us." And Joab said, "Let them rise." And they rose and went over by number, 12 from Benjamin, followers of Ishban, son of Saul, and 12 from the servants of David. And each man took hold of his opponent by the head, and thrust his sword in his opponent's side, and they fell down together. So that the place was called the Field of Sharp Swords, which is in Gibeon. And the battle was fierce that day, and Abner and the men of Israel were smitten before the servants of David. And there were 3 sons of Tereser there, Joab, Abinishi, and Ashel. And Ashel was light on his feet, as one of the gazelles in the field. And Ashel pursued Abner, and in going, he did not turn aside to the right or to the left upon following Abner. And Abner looked behind him and said, "Are you Ashel?" And he answered, "I am." And Abner said to him, "Turn aside to your right hand or to your left, and lay hold of one of the young men. Take his armor for yourself." But Abner would not turn aside from following him. And Abner again said to Ashel, "Turn aside from following me. Why should I strike you to the ground? How then could I face your brother Joab?" But he refused to turn aside. And Abner struck him with the blunt end of the spear in the stomach, so that the spear came out of his back. And he fell down there and died on the spot. And it came to be that as many as came to the place where Ashel fell down and died stood still. And Joab and Abish pursued Abner, and the sun was going down. And they came to the hill of Ammon, which overlooks Gilead by the way of the wilderness of Gibeon. And the children of Benjamin gathered together behind Abner and became a single company, and stood their stand on top of a hill. And Abner called to Joab and said, "Should the sword devour forever? Do you not know that it is bitter in the latter end? And when are you going to say to the people to turn back from pursuing their brothers?" And Joab said, "As Elohim lives, if you have not spoken, then all the people would have given up pursuing their brothers only the next morning." Joab then blew with the shofar, and all the people halted and pursued Israel no further, nor did they fight any more. And Abner and his men went all that night through the desert plains, and passed over the Jordan, and went through all of Bithram, and they came to Medaheim. And Joab turned back from pursuing Abner. And when they had gathered all the people together, there were missing of David's servants 19 men and Ashel. But the servants of David had stricken of Benjamin and Abner's men 360 men who died. And they brought Ashel and buried him in his father's burial site, which was in Bethlehem. And Joab and his men went all night, and they came to Hebron at daybreak. End of 2 Samuel. Moving on to Psalm 76. on page 688. In Judah, Elohim is known. His name is great in Israel, and his booth is in Shalom, also Jerusalem, and his dwelling place in Zion. Then he broke the arrows of the bow, the shield and the sword, and the battle axe. Salah. You are resplendent, more excellent than mountains of prey. The stout-hearted have been stripped. They sleep their sleep, and none of the mighty men have found their hands. At your rebuke, O Elohim of Jacob, both the rider and the horse lay stunned. You are to be feared. And who would stand in your presence? Then you are when you are displeased. From heaven you shall cause judgment to be heard. The earth shall fear, and the earth shall be still. When Elohim arises to right ruling to save all the meek of the earth, Salah, for the wrath of mankind praises you. With the remainder of wrath, you gird yourself. You make vows to Yahweh, your Elohim, and pay them. Let them who are around him bring presents to the one to be feared. He cuts off the spirit of leaders. He is awesome to the sovereigns of the earth. On to Proverbs 10 on page 737. Proverbs of Solomon. A wise son makes a father rejoice, but a foolish son is his mother's sorrow. Treasures of wrongness are of no value, but righteousness delivers from death. Yahweh does not let the being of the righteous go hungry, but he thrusts away the desire of the wrong. Poor is he who works with a lazy hand, but the hand of the hard worker makes rich. He who gathers in the summer is a wise son, but he who sleeps in harvest is a son causes shame. Blessings are on the head of the righteous, but violence covers the mouth of the wrong. The remembrance of the righteous is blessed, but the name of the wrong ones rot. The wise in heart accepts commands, but one with foolish lips falls. He who walks in integrity walks safely, but he who perverts his ways becomes known. He who winks with his eyes causes sorrow, and one with foolish lips falls. The mouth of the righteous is a fountain of life, but violence covers the mouth of the wrong. Hatred stirs up strife, but love covers all transgressions. Wisdom is found on the lips of him who has understanding, but a rod is for the back of him who lacks heart. The wise treasure up knowledge, but the mouth of a fool is near ruin. The rich man's wealth is a strong city. The ruin of the poor is their poverty. The wage of the righteous is for life. The increase of the wrong is for sin. He who heeds discipline is in the way of life, but he who refuses reproof goes astray. He who hides hatred has lying lips, and he who sends out a slanderer is a fool. When words are many, transgression is not absent, but he who restrains his lips is wise. The tongue of the righteous is choice silver, the heart of the wrong is of little value. The lips of the righteous shepherd many, but fools die for lack of heart. The blessing of Yahweh makes one rich, and he adds no pain with it. To work out wicked schemes is like a sport to a fool, but wisdom is for a man of understanding. What the wrong one fears comes upon him, but the desire of the righteous is granted. As the whirlwind passes by, the wrong one is no more, but the righteous has an everlasting foundation. As vinegar to the teeth and smoke to the eyes, so is the lazy one to those who send him. The fear of Yahweh prolongs days, but the years of the wrong are shortened. The righteous look forward to joy, but the expectancy of the wrong ones perish. The way of Yahweh is a stronghold for the perfect, but ruin to the workers of wickedness. The righteous is never shaken, while the wrong shall not dwell in the earth. The mouth of the righteous brings forth wisdom, but the tongue of perverseness is cut off. The lips of the righteous know what is pleasing, but the mouth of the wrong speaks perverseness. And Proverbs 10. On to Book of Luke, chapter 17, on page 1007. And he, Yeshua, said to his taught ones, "It is inevitable that stumbling blocks should come, but woe to him, though, when they come. It would be better for him if a millstone is put around his neck, and he were thrown into the sea, that he should cause one of these little ones to stumble. Take heed to yourselves. If the brother sin against you, and rebuke him, and if he repents, forgive him. And if he sins against you 7 times in a day, and 7 times in a day comes back to you saying, I repent, you shall forgive him." And the emissary said to the master, "Give us more belief." And the master said, "If you have belief as a mustard seed, you would say to the mulberry tree, be pulled up by the roots and be planted in the sea, and it would obey you. But who of you, having a servant plowing or shepherding, would say to him when he has come in from the field, come immediately and sit down to eat? But would he not rather say to him, prepare somewhat for my supper, and gird yourself and serve me while I eat and drink, and afterwards you shall eat and drink? Would he thank that servant because he did what he was commanded? I think not. So also you, when you have done all that you were commanded, say, we are unworthy servants. We have done what was our duty to do." And it came to be, as he went to Jerusalem, and he passed through the midst of Samaria and Galilee, and he was entering into a certain village, he was met by 10 leprous men who stood at a distance. And they lifted up their voices, saying, Yeshua, Master, have compassion on us. And having seen them, he said to them, Go, show yourselves to the priest. And it came to be that they were going, they were cleansed. And one of them, when he saw that he was healed, returned, praising Elohim with a loud voice, and fell down on his face at his feet, giving thanks to him. And he was a Samaritan. And Yeshua answering said, Were there not 10 cleansed? But where are the 9? Was no one found to return to give praise to Elohim except this foreigner? And he said to him, Rise, go your way. Your belief has made you well. And having been asked by the Pharisees when the reign of Elohim would come, he answered them and said, The reign of Elohim does not come with intent watching, nor shall they say, Look here, or look there, for look, the reign of Elohim is in your midst. And he said to the taught ones, Days shall come when you shall no longer see one of the days of the Son of Adam, but you shall not see it. And they shall say to you, Look here, and look there. Do not go after them, nor follow. For as the lightning that flashes out of the one part of under heaven shines to the other part of under heaven, so also the Son of Adam shall be in his day. But first he has to suffer much and be rejected by this generation. And it came to be in the days of Noah, so as it how it came to be in the days of Noah, so also it shall be in the days of the Son of Adam. They were eating, they were drinking, and they were marrying. They were given in marriage until the day that Noah went into the ark, and the flood came and destroyed them all. And likewise it came to be in the days of Lot. They were eating, they were drinking, they were buying, they were selling, they were planting, they were building. But on the day Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and sulfur from heaven, and destroyed all. It shall be in the same day, in the day of Son of Adam is revealed. In that day he who shall be on the housetop, and his goods in the house, let him not come down to take them away. And likewise the one who is in the field, let him not turn back. Remember the wife of Lot. Whoever seeks to save his life shall lose it, and whoever loves his life shall preserve it. I say to you, in that night there shall be two in one bed. The one shall be taken, and the other shall be left. Two women shall be grinding together. The one shall be taken, and the other shall be left. Two shall be in a field. One shall be taken, and the other shall be left. And they answering said to him, Where, master? And he said to them, Where the body is, there also the vultures shall be gathered together. Shalom. Make it a great day. Read your Bible and talk to the Father.